I don't know. In the upper left corner, though, we do have LexMillea saying good fun and have luck to his Terran opponent in the orange. He is ThEraXis. Good luck and have fun. Saying it in the more common order, you know, being standard, being formal, but yet mainstream at the same time. We do have LexMillea the hipster, and that, I mean, that's why Protoss just looks so nice and new and stuff. They do stay ahead on things, even though half their units kind of fall apart to, you know, archaic, well, quote-unquote archaic gunpowder and siege tank fire and Vikings. You know what, Protoss, you're falling behind. I don't know what you did wrong, but somewhere along the line, they did, in fact, mess up. We do have no proxies going on. We do have the Barretts coming down, and no gas just yet. That gas timing, though, is at 11 out of, or instead of 13 or 14, and if I do this correctly, that means we will definitely see a Reaper opening. I am almost certain of it. We do have the gas coming down from Protoss, though, so if he gets a standard time Stalker out, he should be pretty much safe against this. I mean, there's not too much a Reaper can do when a Stalker hits the field or when a Mothership Core hits the field, just because, well, it is faster. It does have to run into those Stalkers that it cannot kill at all. Other than that, though, we don't have too much else going on. This Reaper, this Barretts does just finish. He does have 40 gas that he still needs, and this SCV on a very strange path, but there goes the Reaper, the Orbital as well, and now his build starting to play out. Cybercore just going down for a Protoss player. That means that it will not even be done before the Reaper's on the field, and then the Stalker, I believe, takes 42 seconds, yes, 37 on warp gate, but 42 seconds for a Stalker to come out is not, I mean, it takes a lot less time to get the Reaper over here, so he, unless he chrono boosts that Stalker like heck, and this probe actually will see the Reaper. If the Reaper is just going on a straight path, we will see if these two meet. That will mean the Protoss knows exactly what is coming. Yes, he does see the Reaper. The Reaper does not turn around, though. He is going straight for that scout. Warp gate started, rather. The Stalker now being chrono boosted as well. It won't be out right in time by the looks of it. This Reaper got over here very quickly, but it won't be too long before that Stalker is out. The Reaper could possibly get one kill or deny some mining time. This probe sacrificing itself for the greater good. Back in the Terran's base, though, we do have a reactor finishing up. We do have his second command center on the way. He is doing a one-rat's fast expand after that, after the Reaper play. Getting a nice bit of Marines out now, and then he will start the factory. Probably switch those out, go for either Widow Mines, Hellbats if he gets an armory later, or just straight up Hellion drops all of them. We saw, I believe it was today in the Challenger WCS or whatnot, Challenger lead for WCS EU, where Sase was destroyed by Hellions. It was just sickening to see how many kills he really got, or how many probes died to those Hellions. Other than that, though, not too much else going on. The Robo just finishing up for Protoss. We'll probably rush an Observer out of there. Usually you see an expansion before the Robo goes down, but you know what? He's going to go for a little bit of a different build order. Starting the Immortal first, that could mean that he does want to go for more of an all-in play, just because you don't see too many Immortals to... You usually see an Observer first, rather. So the Immortal first is a sign that he could be going for something else. Widow Mine production has started. His second orbital is on the way. The probe got really no information. He did see the reactor and he did see the factory. He did not see whether or not they ever switched. He did not see what was coming out. He did not see the starport. Nothing there to help the Protoss know it's on the way. The Nexus has started, though, so maybe not an all-in play. I mean, I don't usually see the Immortal. Maybe I play my PBTs wrong, though. Maybe that's the only issue here. Even though I do like to think that my PBT isn't too bad at the end of the day. He will be getting a supply block here soon, though. We'll want to fix that. More and more Widow Mines are producing, and we have double SCV production on this one base. Would like to see the second gas here soon. Surprised that we don't see any forge or engineering bay just yet. Just pumping out those units and a couple of SCVs here and there. The Widow Mines, we are going to see the 4 Widow Mine 2, or the 4 Marine 2 Widow Mine drop probably, and it can be very strong, just because you focus down the Marines and then the Widow Mines are there and you don't expect them, or you just don't notice them. anything can really happen, but the observer will see this. He will also see double bunkers going down in just a moment. More and more immortals are being made, though. He does already have 2 on the field, so he will have a total of 3, maybe expecting some form of mech play, some form of marauders on the way. But really, there will only be a mass of marines at this point and a handful of widow mines as well. The observer did see exactly what was here, though, so he might just be able to prepare for this. There's no real drop on the way, though. Terran is just going to bide his time, get a few more units. He's making a tech lab out of here instead of more widow mines, which is perfectly fine. 3 immortals are on the field and a handful of gateway units. There's not really much else to defend against anything. And I mean, immortals are great. I love the unit. I love their design. I love how good they are against marauders and busting down bunkers and stuff. But against marines, naturally, against Hellbats. I was in a game today, and a Hellbat he had 1 attack grade over my Immortal. He was 2-1, I was 1-1. And with a medevac, he was able to basically stay alive indefinitely, so I had to pull the Immortal back. It was really upsetting to see that, just because I did not expect that. This pylon, he will actually fly right over the pylon, so it will give vision of that. And he's moving the units down here to clear the routes, but he will need to defend his main base very soon. Or that medevac can just stand here. Okay. There it goes. Probably will be boosting in, or it will just drop the widow mines over here. One of the two. It will just drop over here. We will see if those widow mines can get any kills. The observer is over here. He sees that no mines are at the front. Maybe that tips him off. But the widow mines are already in the main, and they both hit the mothership core. Out of all things, yes, that the mothership core is a very nice pickup, but you would expect those to hit probes. So at the end of the day, he doesn't kill any probes. Actually, he has killed 2. I think those are both scouts. But no widow mines getting any kills this day on those workers. So Protoss could be in a worse situation. Could be in a much better one if he didn't lose any units to that, though. We do have a massive barracks being set down by our Terran player. He is getting that combat shields, rather, not the stim pack. He definitely has resources for stim. Would like to see that very soon. Other than that, Viking production has started. He did see the robotics facility, and he did not see the robotics bay, but he will be able to counter that ahead of time. Refineries on the way. He is taking both of the assets at his natural. He does not have a 3rd command center, I believe. He does have double engineering bay on the way, though, so that will help him get those upgrades out. Stim has started, +1 finishing up for Protoss here soon, though. He will want to start the armor soon after that, not going for double forge, though, because he does not have any way of getting a council and affording a a decent amount of units. Combat, +1 rather, for the Terran player, was just started, and we do have more and more reactors going down. He's making that medevac, those extra medevats rather. He is also going to get, where's this reactor being made? It's like not on my screen. Oh, okay, it's over here. So that will probably be widow mines for right now. Later on it could be switched to Hellbats because those units are so very strong. This observer making sure that the medevat doesn't go anywhere. He is probably looking at his map constantly. We do have the Twilight Council as well as the second forge, both about halfway down here. The Colossus range also on the way, as well as that +1 armor has been started. And we just have a massive barracks over here. I believe an observer might have just been killed. I did see lights flashing. And oh wait, no, this observer is still here. And usually you'll see a Terran build a missile turret here. It's not too much of an investment, and it keeps the observer off of your main army. So that is always nice. You can have a little bit more room to squeeze out drops without being seen right away. Charge was started, and then canceled, and then Blink was started. And I'm not sure why. He has Immortal Sentry Colossus. He doesn't have anything to shoot up, so I guess, well, he does have a handful of Stalkers, but that is about it. This is going to be a very nice push from the Terran player, especially if he drops behind it, as most Terrans will do, and then this drop could also come in at the same time. Colossus range might be done ahead of time, yeah, it will be done on time, just because Terran is taking a long way around. He is not going straight for the natural. And as that observer, it's still over here, he did see the move out, but he doesn't know where the Terran army is at right this minute. And if Terran just went in here, he could cancel the blink and just straight up kill the Twilight Council, making it so Protoss would have to build another one just to get those higher level upgrades that he will need. There goes the scan, and Protoss knows about this. He does force field the entrance. flying a Viking into the Protoss army, but there's not a lot of Stalkers here. Another one being warped in. The unit count definitely favoring our Terran player. He is up by about 20 army supply, and he might just stim into the natural. The Protoss army is out of position. He force fields over there, expecting them to come in, and now he could just focus on the natural. It looks like that's what he's going to do. The photon overcharge does go down, but it is not enough. That army is time warped. Force fields going down though, and he might just lose a lot of this army. A Colossus walking into the Terran bio ball, that is going to die very quickly. This Colossus has so many kills though, it is just doing area of effect damage repeatedly. These Immortal is doing a lot of damage as well. These Marauders will die, and the Terran army is cleaned up entirely. He does get the natural expansion like we saw at the start, but at what cost? He just lost his entire army. And that bio ball is 5 units. That is not a very big ball. Do have the medevac over here. This medevac did plant down its Widow Mines, but the Widow Mines didn't do anything. He could get those up. This is a ballsy move. We'll see what they can do. There's no reaction from our Protoss player. Oh, these probes. Oh, that was what, 2? So 4 probes killed there. I mean, it's not a massive amount, but it is a little bit of harassment, which will hurt this attack from the Protoss player if it does not just kill the Terran right away. He could definitely move towards the 3rd base. He could scout that. I don't think he knows it's there. No, he does not. He does not know any of these locations. He sees that these rots are not taken down, though, so he can just kind of assume that the Terran base is not over here. And yes, now he sees there is no 3rd over here. The 3rd base for the Terran player is actually flying away. The observer does see this, a little bit of a fist in the air, because he can't do anything about it, but this Protoss army wanted to come over here and kill that very quickly. That is not the case, though. Charge is about halfway done. We do also have the ground weapons, or the 2-2 rather, for our Protoss player on the way. 1-1 is all Terran will have for a while. He does not even have an armory on the field, I believe. It does not look... Oh, yes, he does, but he does not start the upgrades. He's running low on minerals. Is only on that 2-base economy. We do have 4 for our Protoss player. A lot of probes, actually, were killed. He does have 18 probe kills this game, and most of those coming from those Widow Mines. I believe that they got a few extra shots off, more than what was intended for our Protoss player. And Protoss is going to engage on this. Force field's going down. There's no focus on the Vikings with the Stalkers. There's such low Stalker count. The Colossus will all be cleared up, but the Bio Ball is rather small. He does run to the bunkers, so that way the Protoss army does have to fall back. Force field's going down to make this army have to funnel through, and he does not want to take that engagement, so Protoss can kind of just leave on his own means. Charge will be finished. He will want to get a lot of Zealots just so he can actually utilize that. Charge is my favorite upgrade for Protoss, I'm going to say. So I would definitely like to see that used. It makes those Zealots so much more efficient in getting to, or closing the gap, rather. That's the phrase I'm looking for. We do have the Templar Archives on the way and 7 Zealots. He does have a nice gateway count. He does have 7 gateways because we did just see 7 Zealots. Everything made sense now. Do have a Warp Prism on the way, and actually they were talking about and giving the Warp Prism its speed boost from the start of the game. You won't need to research it possibly. That could be a balance or a patch coming out here soon. And we do actually see the upgrade for Warp Prism speed is already on the way. I like the Observer speed, honestly. I think it's a very underappreciated upgrade. That makes Observers so very quick. Allows them to keep up with medevats most of the time. I don't think that they can keep up with boosted medevats, but I mean, for a little bit longer, that little bit more vision, it's only 100, so it's not too expensive an upgrade. We do have the Warp Prism loading in High Templars, so he could go for a Storm Drop. That's actually what we will see here by the looks of it, and that is not something we have seen in a very long time at the professional level, so I would definitely like to see this work out for a Protoss player. He is down in supply, and that is because he is actually up by 8 probes, even though he has lost a few this match, but he is down in army supply. He does have the 2-2 upgrades that Terran is just now finishing. These SCVs need to get to work, though. We do have the cloak, or I mean rather the energy upgrade for the Ghost on the way that will help him counter those High Templars, but he will not be expecting this. This is a speed prism. It is getting in position. Those Templars do have energy. They do have Storm. He does land them, and Storm. Does he? He doesn't have Storm yet, and Terran doesn't realize what is going on over here. Terran is not realizing it. Now he does, and he does load back up quickly, but now that Warp Prism is dead. He missed his chance so badly. That was terrible. And the SCVs don't even die. A problem when you gotta make sure your timings are correct. If you go for something like that, just a little bit of a mix-up, probably confusing the Terran player a bit. There he goes. That was pretty bad, but I mean, mistakes can be made. I actually forgot my cyber core for like a minute and a half at the start of one of my games today, and then I'm like, wait, why do I have so many minerals? But we do have 5 ghosts on the way, and the 3-3 has just been started from Terran. Not seeing that yet from Protoss. If he does, I mean, he won't be behind if he chrono boosts it. He just needs a lot of gas. He is he does not have a lot of gas. Terran is only on 3 bases though, and Protoss is taking his 4th. He's staying ahead in terms of base count, which is always nice, but, I mean, in general, his army supply has actually evened out. So Protoss has evened everything out, even though he did a somewhat mediocre storm drop. But I can't really say anything. I have never storm dropped, actually, which is kind of sad because I like High Templar so much. But that 4th base is about halfway done. The stand does go down, I believe. Oh wait, no, that was just these being selected. I saw a yellow line, and what do you expect me to assume? 3-3 started for Protoss. They are being chrono boosted. That will get them out close to the time close to the Terran's 3-3 timing. He will want to chrono boost those out again, though. We do have another command center over here, as well as one was made over here just for the extra energy on that orbital command. So that is nice to see. Those definitely need to keep being chrono boosted, though. Protoss, of course, does not know the timing on all this. These zealots delaying this expansion for a little bit, actually. That is a nice little pickup from our Protoss player. Those random zealots doing their job. Yeah, they were picked off. They killed one SCV. That one SCV had a very bad day today. We do have a second expansion being taken from Terran as well, and that is a bit of greed, but he thinks he can hold it. He does have quite the bank, as does Protoss. Protoss is waiting for his mothership core. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten one out long before now. I know the other one died to the Widow Mines, but it's always nice to have that unit. The 3-3 from Terran will be finishing up here in just a minute. Oh, literally a minute. Ha ha ha. We will have the Protoss upgrades for another 100 seconds. The EMPs do go off on the Colossi, but they do not hit the Templar. The Storms to do a lot of damage here. Here goes force fields, and the Protoss army is just going to decimate this Terran force with those Storms, with the AoE, and there goes everything. Terran does have to pull back. His Vikings are just sitting over the Storms. That is doing a lot of extra damage. The Colossi are all gone. There are 2 Archons warping in, and there's still Storm energy on this High Templar. These Marauders are just going to die miserably, and now the Vikings also will die, and that means that the Terran does not have an army. He is down to only 89 supply. That was a very nice engagement for a Protoss player because the EMPs hit the rest of the Protoss army, but they didn't hit their core targets. We do have a higher army supply, a higher worker count for our Protoss player. He could move in anytime. He doesn't need to scout this base. He could easily take out this base at this point. He just wants to get a little bit more AoE damage, Colossi being that more dependable unit. The Storms always do a little bit of damage when they first hit, but you can avoid most of the damage if you know how to micro, something I cannot do for the life of me when I play as Terran and I get a TVP matchup on like EU or the Southeast server. We have a planetary starting up here though, and we have more Ghost production, more Viking production. He is just going for a full counter to Protoss army, and he had the same kind of army last fight, but he just didn't micro it appropriately. We do have 3 Stargates and 3 Robos are on the field, or are on the way rather. And Protoss is taking more and more gases. This will be at his 5th base. He will be on equal base count with the Terran, but what they don't know is that they are now neighbors, and that will turn very ugly very soon. Those neighborly disputes can sometimes turn deadly. I don't know. I haven't seen one of those just yet, though. That Nexus is about halfway done, though. We do have just more and more bio. He's just going to stick to bio, which is pretty standard for this matchup, of course. And these rots will go down very quickly. He does, I think, right-click them. There they go. We do have to attack move on him now, or a left click. And Terran knows about this. The High Templar are scanned. They were getting in position to lay down some really nice storms. That's not going to be the case, though. This Templar wants to get some storms off as well. Here come the Ghosts, though. They are sniping the Templar. And that is not what you want to happen to a full energy High Templar. This base, though, will go down very quickly. The Vikings will take out the Colossi in 2 volleys, and... well, I don't know if you want to engage on this. The storm goes down on the Vikings, but I don't know why. The Vikings can't really do any more in this fight. Zealot's being kited very, very effectively, and now he has just stopped moving. I'm not sure why. He does blink forward to allow the Templar to get in position. The Ghosts still have energy for EMP. Use the EMP. You can win this fight. He does instead walk into a storm. That is not how you win a fight against Protoss. He does have that cloaking on the way, though. He does have more Ghost in production, and Protoss has 4 Colossus in production at the same time. That's going to be a bit of an issue for our Terran player. He has stopped Viking production entirely. He only has 3 left on the field. A lot of them were actually killed. Maybe that's why he was storming the Vikings, just to make sure that he could transition into this, or transition back into this with Void Rays added, and the Fleet Beacon going down as well. Does he have any air upgrades? No, he does not. I'm not sure. I believe somebody said something about Tempest in PvT, but I have not seen them myself. This base being taken out by Zealots, but the base actually taking out the Zealots due to the fact that it is a planetary. My life for ire over here. More and more Zealots will go down, but it's not being repaired. That's a bit of an issue, and this army is not killing the Zealots. If that base goes down... okay, he does start to repair it. That base got dangerously low, actually. Here's the Protoss army, though. It does still have a nice Templar count. 4 of them are over here. They all have energy for Storm, except for this guy. But he has 3 kills, so he's not feeling too bad about that. And Protoss will want to move in on this 5th base. He knows it's slow. He knows he can just kind of go in there, especially with the Immortal count that he has. Still from the start of the game, I believe. Those Immortals have lasted for quite some time. And there he goes. He will clean that planetary up very quickly. Terran moving back up here. He does throw down the scan. He does see that there are no Templars with this army. He will have to wonder where they are at. And here they come. They are walking into the scan, but I don't think he will EMP them. If he does get an EMP on the Templar, this could be big. The entire Protoss army is down now except for these Templar, and now they are just walking in. They do throw down a few very nice storms, but here comes a massive Colossi and Void Rays, and there's not enough here to deal with it. And now this Fireball will fall. The Vikings will die very quickly to those Void Rays. They are considered armored, and now all the Metavats being taken out as well. 3 Void Rays is a high amount of damage. He also has Tempest in production and more Colossus. He will just have a terrible, terrible, fearsome army, but Terran does call GG right there. He knows he can't transition fast enough with 2 starports, and no upgrades on his air. So he cannot deal with that many Colossi and that many Void Rays, as well as whatever other air units were on the way that he did not know about yet, which would be Tempest, which would be very annoying to deal with. I think Tempest are used because they force engagements. I believe that was the logic that was presented when they were mentioned. I forget what I was watching when I heard that, but that was a very good game from LexMillea. He is up 1-0 in this matchup, this PvT for the Heart of the Swarm Masters mashup on the Battle.net forums, so we will see how he does in the rest of his matches.